Look who actually got dressed up today, you guys. I'm being a human. I look like a raccoon, but you know, maybe I'm a cute one. Hey you guys, I'm back. Hopefully this video won't take as long to upload as the last one. I was having upload issues the last time, but hopefully this one is doing a little bit better. We are doing something a little bit different today. Today we're gonna have a bit of a witchy video. For those of you who have been here since the beginning of my channel, know that I had a subscription box a while back called Witch Casket, where they basically deliver stuff to your house that's like witchy supply stuff. I guess like however you would say that. It came with stuff like herbs and crystals and spell work and stuff like that. And I got some really cool and interesting stuff. And if you want to see that stuff, I will have links to the previous Witch Casket videos in the description. But today is not a Witch Casket video. I no longer subscribe to the box because even though it was great, it can get a little expensive when you're on a budget. So today I'm going to teach you guys how to make black salt. Now, for anybody who doesn't know, because I don't really talk about it too much on YouTube, but I want to try to incorporate it more, I am a practicing witch and a pagan. I don't get to practice quite as much and as openly as I would like, because a lot of craft work requires burning incense and candles, and I live with someone that has a lot of breathing troubles at the moment, and I can't do that stuff in the house without making that person sick. But I am also slightly in the broom closet just because I live in a very Christian part of town. I live in an area called the Bible Belt, if anybody knows what that is. It basically means that primarily the set of areas in a row where I live is all very Christian households. And between having trouble practicing in the house and having trouble, you know, practicing out in the open in general, I am slightly in the broom closet, but not 100%. The only reason that I'm able to film this video today is because the person with the breathing problems is not going to be home in the next couple of days. So I can burn incense and such without making anybody sick. So let's talk about black salt. This to me is one of the simplest things that you can do when you are practicing. It's one of the earliest things that I learned how to do, and it's something that I still do to this day. This jar is currently not full, but I'm on my way to getting it back to being full. The main purpose of black salt is for protection, to ward off evil, especially from your home and from your belongings. It's also great for absorbing negativity. So what you would do with this, I specifically got it to protect the home, is sprinkle it around your property, or if you want, you can put it like in the windowsills or sprinkle it like in the doorways. If you live in an apartment building, you more than likely are gonna have to do it in like the windowsills and doorways if you can, doorways. But if you live like in a house and you have like the ability to do it, you can sprinkle it around the property lines. You can do both if you want to kind of like double up the protection factor of it to ward off evil. You can do it around the property and you can do it like in the windowsills and doorways and stuff, but I think it's only doorways to the outside, but I'm not sure, don't quote me on that part. But I think it's just a really handy thing to have around the house. Sometimes black salt can also be used in certain spells that have to do with protection and getting rid of negativity and such. So I think it's just a really good thing for any practicing witch to have on hand in general. I just always have it in the house, and I would rather have it and not know what to do with it than need it later and not use it, you know? So it's always something that I like to have in my house. So as far as things you're gonna need, first of all, if you're planning on just keeping it in your house, get like a jar like this. This is just a mason jar. Mason jars are your friend when it comes to practicing like this and you wanna keep together. So need something to put it in. If you're planning on using it immediately, you can just keep it in a bowl. But if you wanna like keep it in stock in your house at all times, I would just suggest like a jar of some kind. I just use mason jars for a lot of stuff. Now, in order to make the ash that you will need for this, you can either use ash that comes from sage. I personally have white sage in my house, or you can use incense. The scent does not necessarily matter, but if you specifically want to use scents that are associated with protection and getting rid of negativity to kind of boost that, that's completely fine, but you technically can use any scent of incense that you want. This current box is full of sticks that are lavender, and these are also lavender, just because I like that scent and it's not too overpowering in the house. These are what I use for burning those bad boys. This buddy is for sticks, right there. This buddy is for cones. Now, the other thing that you're gonna need is salt. I think you can technically use any kind of salt, but most of the time when I've seen people making black salt, they use pink Himalayan salt. I prefer to use pink Himalayan salt in most of my magic, unless it's otherwise stated that it should be white salt or sea salt, something of that variety. This one specifically is fine Himalayan pink salt. I know you can get it where it's in like bigger chunks if you prefer to grind it yourself, or if you want it in bigger chunks. I just prefer to work with it already pretty fine. Now, if you want to, you can do this in stages. If you plan on burning a bunch of incense within a night or like an entire day, and you want to use everything you collect that day so you can use it that night, that's completely fine. If you want to use it over a period of a few days to a week, you can collect everything, especially if you plan on keeping it all in one place. I preferably put everything from every time that I burn incense or sage in the jar. Especially since right now, because of my relative's health, I'm not able to burn incense and sage pretty much at all when that person is home. I like to kind of always collect up the ashes from every single time that I use incense, especially since I'm keeping it in a jar. Now, if you do not have a mortar and pestle, you can use something else to grind all of this together and mix it all up. The person I originally learned this from used a stick from outside. You can use a spoon, you can mix it up in a bowl. I know not everybody has this. I just happen to have this, and I prefer to use this when it comes to making black salt. If you want your black salt to be a little bit darker than this, you can always put charcoal or black pepper in here. But that's purely just for color. It doesn't actually, need to be there. So what I'll take is the ashes from the incense or from the sage, put it in here with some salt, grind it all up, mix it all up until it's evenly mixed, and then it gets added to the jar. It's really simple. Currently in here in the kitchen, we have incense burning. This is the lavender sticks I talked about. You can see the ash falling down here. And you'll just let this burn normally while you continue about your time, whatever you're doing, just let it burn normally. Then once it's done and you're ready, it goes into whatever you are mixing everything in. And you will add a little bit of salt. I'll check back with you in a bit when this is done. Okay, we are gonna try to be fancy when it comes to doing this because I'm using the back camera and can't see what's going on, but I wanted to show you what's happening. So I always like to put a little bit of the salt in first at the bottom. You don't need a lot of salt. I like to make a little hole here in the bottom for it to go into. This is how much we got out of one stick. Move our other little dudes out of the way and get it all in here. This is what you are left with. The ash is just kind of sitting on top of the salt here. All right, and we're just gonna go in, mix it all together, crush it all up, all that good junk. This is gonna be kind of what you're left with. It's still pretty pink, so what we're gonna do is we are gonna add some black pepper for color. I'm making a mess in here, doo-dah, doo-dah. But I'm going to clean it up, oh the doo-dah day. I would usually add less salt than this at a time, but I was trying to make it more visually, able to see for you guys. So at this point, I'm gonna clean up the pepper. So it's now at this point, we add you can see which bit is the bit we just added. It's the very pink part. Now we just close her back up and we are gonna shake it up so that we can evenly distribute all the stuff we just mixed in with all the stuff that was already there. If I could get the top of the jar on, that would be great. Can have some of this come out afterwards, which is kind of cool. Honestly, kind of my favorite part. And now it is all blended together. And that is how you make black salt. I hope you kind of liked the change in pace today. I wanted to bring a bit of my craft to the channel. If you guys like this, I might find another way to do this in the future with different stuff other than this, obviously. I don't really have anything else to say other than thank you for watching my video. If you have made it this far, please hit subscribe, join the family. If you are interested, please follow my other social media down in the description below. I have a TikTok, an Instagram, and a Twitter. TikTok is where you can more often find my witchcrafty things. You can also find small comedy skits or all of my cosplaying there. You can also find bits and pieces of that on my Instagram and my Twitter, but I am on Twitter the least. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, share it with anybody you think might enjoy it, and comment down below about if you would like more videos like this, if you found this one helpful, if you've used black salt before, or if you're gonna want to make it now that you've seen this video. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you later. Bye.